Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to Tony the Technician's channel, and today we're going to be installing a remote start into the 2020 Kia Telluride. If you're watching this and you have a 2020 Kia Telluride, you're probably either coming up on your expiration on the UVO app, or you've already expired, or maybe you're paying for the app now because they only provide you, when they release the Kia Telluride for 2020. They provide you with the UVO app, which allows you to remote start and keep track of your location. It's got a lot of nice features. It's a little slow for a lot of people. Some people don't have issues with it. A lot of people do. But it's a decent app. Most people got a year's worth of courtesy service remote starting their Telluride. Well, after that year, it is somewhere around $300 a year to keep the app. And that's per year, and it all depends on the package that you get, but that's $300 a year on average. That's a lot of money per year just to have remote start and a few other features. So I went this route and purchased the Accessorides plug and play remote start. It's gonna be one payment of $300, and I'm never gonna have to pay for a remote start again. Now, kindly enough, they released the 2021 Kia Telluride with a remote start on the key fob. Real nice. So, for anybody with the 2020 that doesn't want to spend roughly $300 a year on the UVO app, you can also get Accessorides plug and play. So they have a few different options. They have their standard remote start plug and play. With that system, you can remote start it with the key fob, 3 clicks on the lock button. Remote starts. When you get into the vehicle, you're going to have to start the vehicle again. Well, with their second option, they have this simple plug and play with the key fob, 3 clicks of the lock button, it starts it, and then it's got with takeover, and that allows you to just get in the vehicle and press the brake pedal, and then you don't have to start the vehicle again. So that's the option I went with. They also have a one-way and two-way option, which is longer distance, and you get an external fob with it. So the one-way will have up to 1,000 feet, and the two-way will be, I believe, 3,000 feet. And then it will communicate to the vehicle, and then the vehicle will communicate back to the fob telling you that the vehicle is started. And then they also have one that has an app service as well. I really hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys do, please make sure to hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts, or if I forget to mention anything. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Let's get into this. You're going to receive, it all comes packaged in this box. You're going to receive some pretty detailed instructions on how to do the install and set it all up. You're going to receive your wiring, your piggyback harnesses, and all of that, as well as the little computer that you can mount up under your dash. These are simple piggyback wires to the computer, and then with the takeover, you have 2 wires that you have to splice into some original wiring. If you get the version without the takeover, it eliminates these 2 wires, and it's just simply plug and play with these. But with this, I will be able to get in the vehicle and go without restarting the vehicle. Their business card, as well as a letter stating that your order was proudly processed by a US veteran. So that's fantastic. You'll get your trim removal tool. So that's everything included and everything you'll really need. So let's go ahead and get out to the vehicle and start removing the panels that we need to in order to access the plugs. To start off, we're going to be removing the panels that we need to access the wiring. So we're on the passenger side underneath the glove box, and we're going to have to remove this panel here. And then with the takeover, the 2 wires that I have to splice into are going to be on the fuse box area on the driver's side. So we're going to remove this panel and the panel on the other side in order to run the wires over there. In order to get this panel off, we're going to simply take our trim tool and there's that bottom panel. Side panel, and you're going to remove the one on the other side as well. Now, in doing this remote start install, it is not necessary on the Kia Telluride, but if you would like, you can disconnect the battery. After this, we're going to go in and locate. You can look up and find the wiring harness here, or you can actually remove the glove box to make access to the panel a lot easier. In order to remove the glove box, simply open it. There's a pin right here that you can remove out of the arm, and then you have a couple of twist sections in the glove box, like so. And in the bottom portion of the glove box, you will see this pin and one more over here on that side that you simply push out in order to remove the glove box completely. There's two pins like that. We go ahead and remove. Now the glove box is completely out. Then you will have a few screws and a few 10mm bolts that you'll have to remove. Now remember, this part is not necessary, but it will make access to the wiring harness a lot easier. You will have these 3 screws up top, as well as 4 10mm bolts down below that you're going to go ahead and remove. There's the 3 screws. Just kind of let that hang down. Now we have access to what we need. The red, green, and blue harnesses right there are what you're going to need to access. The blue one is not necessary to remove. It does not need piggybacked off of, but it may make getting to the red harness a little easier. So I'm not sure how easy it is going to be for you to see this. There's the green connector, the blue connector, and in the way back, the red connector. So there it is. Now we are going to simply piggyback the harnesses in. So we'll start with our red connector. Grab the female end of our piggy tail. Make sure to plug these in nice and straight, not bending any of the pins. We'll do the exact same thing with the green harness. Female end into the original male harness. Now that both of those are plugged in, we can take our other ends and plug them back into the computer. We're going to start with the red in the way back, and then we'll get the blue plugged back in, and then the green. So I'm trying to do this with the camera in here so you guys see everything, but it's really hard. Nice click. Now we'll install the original blue harness. That one's in. Now the final green harness. All right, there's all 3. Now we can start working on our long wires that will run to the other side of the vehicle. You need to be careful. If you've driven the vehicle recently, there are coolant lines under here and they may be hot. You also see your shifter cable here and all that. You need to route the wires through here and over to the other side. They do suggest a full contact method, so either soldering or the poke and wrap method. I'm going to do the poke and wrap method. I do not have any solder here, but eventually I may go ahead and solder them in. But for now, we'll do the poke and wrap method, which you're basically removing like an inch worth of sheathing off of the original wiring. You're spreading the wires open within that, and then you're running this through the split wire and twisting it together and wrapping it up. So I have ran the wire and I have used the supplied zip ties to zip tie it up. Don't forget to come back and cut these zip tie excess ends off. And then you simply just run it over to this fuse panel here. Here we have our wiring. And we're going to be tapping into this yellow wire and this red wire here. So I will be removing the sheathing off of those and tapping in. The purple wire will be going to the yellow wire here. And then the red wire will connect to the red wire here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those spliced in real quick. I'm not gonna have room to have my camera mounted up in here, but we're simply going to remove some material off of the wire on here and simply strip this back a little bit and wrap it up into each one of the wires. Here we've removed the sheathing. Basically what I've done in order to make this as easy as possible, I've used some wire strippers. I went in and I just made a circle cut and a circle cut about an inch apart and then I used my knife to split down the middle of those cuts, and then I could peel the sheathing off. Now you can split the wiring here, make a hole, spread the wires half and half, make a hole in the middle, and then you can clip this back, run it through the middle, and twist them together. So I'll go ahead and do that now, and I'll show you what the finished product looks like. So I should have posted a picture up so you could see how I had this wire split, and then you pull your wire through, and then you pinch the hole that you had created shut, so the wires are in contact like that. And then you're going to take this tail and you're going to wrap it around the original wiring, and you're going to do that with the red on the red and the purple onto the yellow. So I've went ahead and connected them, and this is an actual electrical technique called the poke and wrap. So just keep that in mind. Yes, it's not the cleanest finish because I don't like using electrical tape in here. Obviously I would like to use heat shrink and specifically solder, but with the room that we're working with, this is the best technique to get the least amount of resistance, and you're not breaking any wires. You're simply twisting into the old, so it's better that you're not breaking any wires in the original wiring, so there's less resistance there, better connection, and you don't have to worry about any issues in the future. So make sure none of these wires make contact with other wires. Make sure you're not splicing into other wires on accident. Make sure you wrap them really good to where they can't make contact in the future. And then to remove this, you can disconnect this plug from the fuse block just by simply pushing the tab on the top, pulling the arm out, and it'll remove this section. You can pull it out a little bit, get it out to about right here, so you can get a little bit more room to get these wires connected. Now they're all in, and now we can program it and try it out. Locate the LEDs in the corner, and without touching the brake, press the push to start button until the ignition comes on. Solid red to green, and then off. Then you hear some clicking, which is the programming. Solid red and then solid green for 2 seconds, and then go out. The module is programmed. Press the push to start button once more to shut the ignition off. Start the vehicle normal using the brake and push the start button. Let it run for 5 to 10 seconds to let the idle come down to a normal level. Press and hold the brake pedal. Without releasing the brake, press and release the push button on the side of your module once, and then release the brake. The module LED will then come on red and then will flash green and go out. So I'm going to press the brake. On the side of the module right here is a button. Press it once, red light, and then release the brake after you press the button. You guys did see that it lit up red and then blinked green and went out. That means it is programmed. We're gonna go ahead and get out and actually see if this thing starts. There she is. Started right up. Now we'll go ahead and hop in, see about the takeover. Unlock, still running. I'm gonna shut the door. There it goes. I just simply pressed the brake pedal and it took over. Alrighty, YouTubers, so that's it as far as Accessorides plug and play remote start for the 2020 Kia Telluride, since unfortunately Kia did not want to offer us the key fob option until 2021. But if you have a different vehicle, still make sure to check out Accessorides. They have a lot of different remote starts that they keep very, very easy to install. They make it as simple as possible, so you don't have to pay others to do the install for you. So fantastic company, a lot of veterans. So thank you Accessorides for your service and for an amazing, easy to install remote start. I didn't have any issues as far as disassembly of any trim pieces or anything. All of that was very well detailed in the instructions. So great instructions, great pricing, great unit. It works very well. So all around, I think a better option than paying $300 a year for the UVO app. I would much rather pay a one-time payment of $300 for a remote start that I can use my key fob with. Other than that, keep in mind they also have other options, the 1,000 foot one-way, the 3,000 foot two-way communication remote start, and then they also have an application-based remote start as well. And then they have the one that I have with the takeover, which requires 2 wires to be tied in, or the same kit without the takeover, which is literally just the 2 plugs piggybacked in, and that's it. So a lot of different options to choose from. Other than that, I hope you guys found this video very informative and helpful. If you guys did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up. I'll have the Accessorides website linked down below for you guys if you guys are interested. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time.